Welcome to Success Sundays. We are so happy to be here. This is the place where we help you achieve your full potential and we help you solve your problems. I'm one of your hosts, Oscar Chavez,
I'm Jacob Galea, guys.
we want to talk about bucket lists because I think it's an important topic to touch on because people have goals, people have visions, people have dreams, people want to move further. Jacob, what's your ideas on bucket list goals?
Yeah, I'm glad we're actually talking about this tonight, Oscar, because I think there's been a lot of people talking about a lot of negative things around COVID. And we started this program, you and I, in this partnership about inspiring people about their businesses and their lives and success and what it all is. But I think it's really important at this point to talk about what do you do when you make all the money, or what do you do on the journey? Where do you go? What do you do? And I think, I'm glad that we connected and agreed to talk tonight about something that's really important, which is bucket lists or celebrations or rewards, because it's no use being this really successful person. It's no use grinding 24/7 and hustling and doing what you have to do and never enjoying anything. You've got to have those holidays booked out. You've got to have that watch that you want to buy eyed out. You've got to have that car that you want to buy already with your name on it. Oscar, I want to see the Ferrari with the Oscar number plates. Do you know what I mean? Tell me a bit about what's on your bucket list, Oscar. I want to know what's a bucket list for you.
You know what? A bucket list for me has evolved very specifically over time. It has been the fancy cars, the expensive trips. I've done a lot of that stuff. For me, bucket list is really about living daily at my highest potential, and most importantly, it's for me to be able to control my time. So if I want to up and leave and go to Greece, because that's a place on my bucket list, but it's more than Greece. It's more than just getting there and hanging out and having the vacation. It's more about just being able to pick when and where I go without having to, submit annual leave to an employer. That's why it's so important for me to be able to create my own wealth, my own income, and create my own economy. Because if I don't create my own economy, then I'm subject to the economy out there. I'm subject to COVID. I'm subject to, investor pulling out of a company and all of a sudden the company's pivoting and people get made redundant. All of these things always happen outside of our control. And so for me, the bucket list was just to live life in such a way where I create my own economy, but more importantly, I create my own time. What about you?
But just before I do, okay, I get that. So, live on your own terms. You've created this ecosystem now, but come on, give the audience 20 years from now, Oscar. Give me some bucket list items. What's something on your list that you really want to achieve?
Man, that is a good one. I don't know if I'd buy a Ferrari, but I would definitely drive one and rent one. And I guess I would buy one. I'm kind of, I want one of those houses where you can drive the Ferrari around the kind of courtyard. And I've always imagined just really big dinner parties at home. Like, it's good to go out to a restaurant. That's all well and good. But for me, I want to bring people into my house.
Nice.
where I can cook for them. I wouldn't cook everything. I'd probably get a few hands and feet to help, prepare everything. But just to have an intimate dinner with people that, that we're doing business together, we're growing together, and we could just sit down and kind of have a banquet and just enjoy the good time. Then everybody will go upstairs to their room to sleep, for the night or whatever it is. That's kind of like, if you like paint a picture of like 20 years from now. I don't think about this a lot, Jacob. So, you're stimulating all the creative juices here, but that's ideally what it would look like for me.
I love that. And I think it's important because, I think for you, you'll achieve, and you have achieved your own world, your own economy. And I think it's important that on this program we lead by example as well. And I think I can already see you in the big house and the waterfall in the middle, and me coming over with that bottle of wine and a couple of cigars and sitting there and that is a bucket list item. And I think that's what tonight's about, is you've got to enjoy yourself in life too. You've got to have your eyes on some serious prize as well, because that's why you do this. That's why we do the entrepreneurship, the long hours, the headaches, the never being home and 16 planes a month. That's why we do this, for the sake that after it, that we see that the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And it's not all about that pot of gold's money, but that pot of gold is experiences. Because for me, bucket lists are around experiences, around memory, and like me, you know, I love to travel, and that's why I built a business where I can always travel. Because for me, travel is the most amazing thing for the soul. And my bucket list items are quite simple. It's not really about the cars and the houses and all that. For me, the bucket list items, Oscar, are all around, being with the family around, on the Amalfi Coast, on the beach, and having a Negroni at 5 o'clock at the coolest little, family-owned restaurant. Go down 3 people in Positano, or being, like you said, on the Greek islands, and being able to have some, being on a farm with a white tablecloth and some really nice grandparents there that are coming out and bringing you the souvlaki and the pigs on the spit there, and the wind's blowing, and there's 5 bottles of wine on the table, and you're sitting there in your linen shorts and your white linen t-shirt, and for me, bucket list items is about, for me, it's totally about relaxation. It's totally about, I've worked so hard to be able to get me in a position, and now I can just do what I want when I want. Yeah. And I think you'd be the same, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely. We always talk about, work hard, play hard, but the other one that we want to be able to do is rest hard as well, because we've got to recuperate. We've got to regenerate. Guys like us, like entrepreneurs, we expend tons of energy because the amount of problems that we're carrying, right? We're just always just solving other people's problems, right? That's what we do. So for me as well, like, I really visualize that future where I am totally relaxed on a beach. I want to be able to kind of follow summer around and stay away from the winters and just get a lot of vitamin D, spend, like you said, drinking a glass of wine. And I think that makes me remember something really important here. Carl Jung is a psychologist, and he talks about the fact that a human goes crazy if they don't dream. If they lack the ability to dream, they actually start to develop a bit of, they start to go a bit crazy. So this is very important for us to sit here on a Sunday when our week's about to get on top of us and go, what are we dreaming about? So for me, that comes back down to visualizations there, Jacob, because you were painting a very clear picture of what it would be like, on the Amalfi Coast. You mentioned things like wind blowing. Is visualization something that we need to do in order to actually achieve our bucket list, or how do we start to do that, Jacob?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's all about visualization, because, I can clearly describe for you the wind blowing and the white curtains on the inside going in and out, and, the olive tree that I'm sitting underneath of with my hat half leaning forward because I've had not a glass of wine, but probably 3 bottles of wine. I'm just about to doze off and relax, right? It's all about the visual. And I think that's why, we use visualization so hard for our clients, and we use visualization so hard in business to achieve. And I think this is an important platform to say that you've got to be using visualizations for your bucket list as well. And even as I described to you, like, the linen shorts and the white t-shirt, and like, it's all part of it, because if you can't put a complete picture together of what it all looks like, then you're never going to get there. So, like, I could clearly define it, and understand exactly how I want it to be, and every moment and every memory that we're going to be creating. And again, that's why we do what we do, because, if you can't live towards a bucket list and actually start ticking things on them, my question is, why do this? Why be an entrepreneur? Why do what we do? What's the purpose? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to be able to derive some sort of meaning from the hard work, because I think the thing that has become really apparent, and one of the things that I tell my clients about all the time, is that it never stops being hard, right? There's I don't know if you feel the same about this, but for me, it's like, the more successful you get, the harder it actually gets, because you've got more stuff on your plate. So I think we need to not dream about just doing nothing all the time. It's about finding that balance where you can go in, you can get into beast mode. We talked about this last week.
Yeah.
But then when you're not in beast mode, to be able to sit in the Amalfi, the wind blowing, couple of glasses of really delicious wine, and really just relax. Because like you said, otherwise, what's the point? We've got to derive some sort of meaning out of this. And sometimes business owners get so trapped in the doing, the stress. This bill's due. I've got to recruit this person. I've got to, create this procedure. I've got to build this system. I've got to get this thing automated. That sometimes it just gets a little bit chaotic in there. So it's important to then reflect on the stuff that we're dreaming about, the stuff that we're pursuing. Otherwise, we're not able to maintain high performance. This is the thing that people don't understand. Things like sleep, even. They're like, work harder, work harder, work harder. But you do need your sleep. There's an element of high performance that is about sleep. So it's important to really stimulate those dreams. Jacob, for people that are watching this, kind of going, you know what, I've kind of given up on my dreams, because there are people, right? There are people that life whips them so hard that they start to give up on their belief that anything's possible. What will you say to those people, Jacob?
Well, look, I think first and foremost, I'd say to those people that you should never stop giving up. That's no matter that's paramount. Just do not stop giving up, no matter how much you've been hit and how much it's hurt. If you can look up, you can get up, and that first and foremost is the key. Before the dreams and the bucket list is, if there are people hurting, keep going, because there is light at the end of the tunnel, and there is a thing called miracles and magical moments that if they say the definition of luck is where preparation and hard work meets. And if you prepare and you work hard, you're going to get lucky. It's as simple as that. But I think I would also say to those people, Oscar, that you've got to have your dreams. You have to dream big, and the dream is the driver, right? And I'll say that again: the dream is the driver. The dream is why I get up and do what I do. We've called it bucket list tonight, but they're dreams. That's why I do what I do, so that I can, at one point in my life, be able to take 6 months off. And as you said, Oscar, follow the summers and do what I want and be where I want without having to worry about income or bills or anything, because all the hard work of the years beforehand has been taken care of. So for me, and then we'll ask you the same thing. I think for me, Oscar, it's never give up, number one. Just no matter what, do not give up. If you can look up, you can get up. Number two, if you don't have a dream board, if you don't have a vision board, tomorrow morning when you get up, create one, because it's going to give you a whole lot more of a drive and a whole lot more of an excitement. And even if it's a little dream, even if you're thinking about, just if you need to go to Positano for a week, sometimes we need to go on a sabbatical just for escapism. When all COVID's over, book a flight. Everything's going to be really cheap. Hotels are going to be screaming for people to come back and help them again. Book a flight to Positano, go for a week, take nothing but a pen and a bit of paper and recalculate yourself, re-engineer your dreams, come back and then go, I love that so much that I want to plan to be here every year for a month and make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And I think for me as well, it's about recreating your identity in a sequential fashion. So I think 12 months is a really good point in time. Like, you should be able to look back on the old you. So say 12 months ago. So I should be able to look back on the 34-year, I'm 35 now, but the 34-year-old, or maybe I'm 34, I can't remember, but the 34 or the 30-year-old or the 20-year-old Oscar. And I've got to be able to ask myself, am I hungrier than that guy? Have I achieved more of my goals? Have I gone forwards? Have I gone backwards? Am I hungry for the hunt? Because to live this lifestyle, Jacob, there's an element of it that you've really got to be hungry for the hunt. And some people get to the point in their lives where they kind of give up on that hunt. They get into the known. They start to operate just by the momentum alone, and they just let life happen to them and they let it unfold. And you mentioned something really important there earlier, Jacob, around finding the meaning in it, right?
Yeah.
And some people, and I used to be like this for sure, right? 6 years ago or so, I'd lost a lot of meaning in my life, was really unhappy, felt that it was all kind of pointless. And that's the path that you head down if you don't live your life in such a way where you're trying to unlock your potential. It's like if you don't at least try to achieve your higher self, you're going to be hit with negative emotion a lot of the time. And you're going to be reacting to environments in your situation. And little situations in your life could just start blowing up, like fights with the family, fight with the spouse, fight with your customers, fights with your bosses, whatever it is, right? We then find ourselves in these unconscious patterns if we don't take the time to actually drive meaning, because we are responsible for that meaning. No one else can give it to us. We can't get meaning out there from anybody else. We have to develop that meaning for ourselves. So for me, It's about recreating that meaning every day and asking
I love
myself,
that.
did I live today with meaning? Did I create meaning? Because if I didn't, then I've gone backwards, and my day tomorrow is just going to be even harder. It's going to be more of a slog. There's going to be more friction and more resistance, which I
Yeah.
don't want. I don't want the resistance. I don't want the friction. I just want to glide through life, but in an upward spiral where success brings more success. The more successful you get, the easier it is to get more successful and to get to that next level of success. Would you agree
I
with that,
love that.
Jacob?
Yeah, look, I love that. I think I really love that. I think, your word meaning is beautiful because, if you don't give meaning to what you're doing, you shouldn't be doing. And I think probably another word I would just add into that fusion, just to mix it up a bit, is the word fun. I think a lot of entrepreneurs are going through every single day, and it is a grind and things, and they've stopped having fun. For me, the minute I stop having fun in my business, is the minute I'll stop doing it. Like, it's all about fun. I'm creating some new products at the moment, and I'm about to launch to market in a week, and the process has been so much fun. It's a new vertical for me. It's a new industry for me, and the whole learning process and the experience has kept me and my spirit so high, flying high like a kite during COVID-19 when everyone else is down, because I've put myself in an environment of so much fun. I've met some amazing new people. I've created something that is game changing, and I know that this is going to be a long term thing that is a legacy item too. Will outlive me. So I think meaning and fun. I think tonight on Success Sundays has got to be what it's all about.
Look, you've dropped a bit of a bombshell on us here. Like, I've known about this endeavor, but can you tell us a bit more about this new vertical, the new product, the exciting, game-changing product that you're releasing?
Yeah, I can. Look, I've been working for 3 years behind the scenes on something. Ever since I was a little boy, I've loved smell. So I'd love the smell of coffee in the morning. I'd love smelling a glass of red wine. I'd love aftershave. I'd love perfume. I've always loved smell. And one of my rituals that I do every morning is, and always have ever since I was working in the corporate world, is when I got up and get dressed, I'd always spend a lot of money on some really good quality men's aftershave and go out and start my day with the pheromones pumping and dancing all around me. And I've, as you know, I've been labelled in the media for some time as a success coach and helping people become very successful. And through that success is accelerating their ambition. So what I've done is I've created 2 unisex fragrances that are going to come out in about a week, called Success by Jacob Galea and Ambition by Jacob Galea. It's a partnership with an amazing French company, and we're bringing to the market a unisex, a beautiful fragrance to start your day. So there's 2 different ones. There's Success and there's Ambition. I think Success is more of you put on it during the day and you go out and you have your meetings, and Ambition is what you do at night. You spray it on when you're going and have a glass of wine and a dinner meeting at Rockpool. And they're about to come to a market in the week, and I'm very excited. They smell really good, not because they're mine, but that they smell really, really good. They've been tested. We've got a lot of people that are really excited around the world to get their hands on it. So yeah, look, like I said, it's been not only a bucket list, but it's been a passion project. I've had a shitload of fun, and I think it's gonna. My aim is not to play in the industry, is to win in the industry, and it's a new vertical, and I think, marketing wise, we're really pushing the boundaries to what everyone else is doing in this space with products like fragrances. It's unisex, which I think there's not too many unisex fragrances out there today. Mine's one of the first, because success shouldn't be, or ambition shouldn't be just for men. It should be for men and women. And I've got the women that have smelt this 2 fragrances as well, saying I would wear this tomorrow straight away as well. So it's a very exciting time.
Absolutely. And it's important to note there that we communicate more than just with our words. We communicate with our hands, with our body language, with our gestures, and also with our scent. Because I know from my perspective, I mean, people are judging all the time, right? And I heard a really high impact entrepreneur last week. He called it out, and he said people that have body odor detract success away from them because they don't have the hygiene required, right? You introduce business partners to one another. You've got to be hygienic, and you've got to smell good, because it's going to make you more successful. I totally agree with that. So I am really excited Jacob, about that launching next week. Success, ambition, because how better way? As someone that's successful pays attention to all of the fine details. And I love that you're getting into this venture, man. I can't wait to see it. And we'll put some links as well in these videos when it finally comes out. But look, everyone, that's all we have for Success Sunday. I'm excited that you got to spend some time with us. Make sure you keep an eye out for Jacob's new unisex scents, so perfumes, colognes, all those kinds of things. And any final words from you, Jacob?
Oh, look, I think for me, this was probably the best Success Sundays yet. I mean, it's not all about business and money and entrepreneurship. I think, now in my mind, I'm seeing, the white tablecloth in Positano with a bottle of wine on there and some salami and fresh bread and olive oil and just sitting there. And for me, it's about life, mate. It's about we do this to live life. And I think I've really enjoyed this one. I think it's just getting better and better. And guys, if you don't have a vision board, a bucket list, a dream board, go and create one tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of these Success Sundays we'll have to do in the Amalfi, I think. When the right time comes, when the travel restrictions are better, mate, you got to dream big. You got to go hard or got to go home. Look, everyone, thank you so much for joining us for Success Sundays. We will see you again next Sunday. Join us for Success Sunday so that you can start your week off strong. Don't let Monday come by chance. Don't be reactive to Monday. You got to take it by the horns and you got to control your destiny. Otherwise, you just end up with chance. And none of us like chance. We want control. So, see you guys later. Take care.
See you guys. Bye-bye.